Well, hello. Yes. Hi, everybody. This is DarkArt Pro, and I'm back in the studio. I know it's been a long time, but you know what? Life goes on and on and on and on. So, thank you for staying with me, all my lovely subscribers. It's really cool. Sorry, such a delay in doing videos, but you know what? I kind of don't want to create content that's not any good. So, I'm here to create some good content for all you guys out there. So hello again, all my lovely subscribers, and welcome back to my studio. It's late in the afternoon in Lancashire here. I'm just seeing if my heater's working. It is late in the afternoon, and if you know you've been with me for a while, I do a quick sit rep on the weather in Lancashire, because all these people over the world have lovely weather, but in England we always moan about it. So here's my first moan. It's a bit windy and it's a bit cold. There you go. So sorry, just excuse me there. And if you've not been on my channel before, I mean, it's not the most professional in the world, but it is real and it's real time, and I try to help you as much as I can with some tips and tricks and keep it simple, stupid. No sort of technical jargon that goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on, but kind of like practical, really helpful stuff and cool stuff, because you know, you've got to be passionate to paint, and you've got to be passionate about what you're painting to get the good results. And I'm kind of self-taught, been in it for a long time, but my bread and butter is custom Volkswagen art, really. So sort of like custom automotive art. I love working on metal, but I like painting anything, to be fair. But so I kind of think you might find that I skit around a bit on these videos, but the point is, it's just about enjoying airbrushing, being passionate about it, and if you've had a stressful day and you want to watch someone paint, I'm your man. Because there's loads of stuff going on in the world at the moment, and it's all a bit grim, isn't it? People don't liking each other and doing stupid things. So wherever you are in the world, love and peace from DarkArt Pro. I've been kind of reinvigorated in doing some artwork. I've been thinking about what I can do, and future projects. But in the meantime, between projects, I sketch a lot and just come up with some ideas. And recently I did a little sketch, because I stopped doing schools for a while, because schools go on, and people, how many schools do you need? I mean, like death by schools, but they are kind of cool sometimes. And I was just messing the other day. I'm going to show you this little sketch I did. Oh blimey, excuse the banging and crashing. Oh goody aunt. There we go. And I kind of did a stack of schools, and I was going to do sort of like a bit Geiger-esque, I guess, sort of like sinew and sort of snakes going through, and I thought that'd be kind of cool thing to show as an airbrushing project, and sort of like teach some tips and tricks as well. So I don't know what you think, guys, but I'm going to try and transfer a bit over here and just play with it a little bit. Now, if you've been on my videos before, there's different methods of doing things. How to start it, it's this dreaded start of a blank canvas here. I'll talk about that in a sec though, but this, what I work on, I love metal, like cars and bits and pieces, so this is what we call dye bond, and it's basically what they make signs out of. If I just show you the side, it's like a composite. It's got plastic in the middle and it's got a thin layer. You see a thin layer of metal down the side. Now there's really good practice pieces, so if you go back to, oh, let me put that there, don't trust that. So before you get on a car, and you can see how it sort of, the paint reacts with metal, and you kind of prepare it like you would do a car as well. You just basically, with this, when they first get it, it's super shiny. I don't know if that's shinier on that side, probably is. So what I do is just rub it down with some little grit paper, or like a Scotch pad, just get it off. So like with anything, paint needs to grip. I like doing that. Grip. So if it's got nothing to grip to, it'll just slide off and it won't work. As you can spend hours doing it, it'll just drip off. So yeah, so there is some sort of like preparation needed on any sort of metal. When I do a fuel flap like Darth over here, excuse my face, that takes a bit longer. This is an older piece. But yeah, it's similar thing. We just prep it the way we do that, and then we start adding the paint. And after that, then we added a clear coat to that. But we can do that when I do my next piece. I'll show you, because I've got a fuel flap I need to do. So anyway, pop that back over here. About everything falling over. Oh, here we go. You might find on my videos that things fall over. I just said that. Anyway, I'm cracking on. This is part of it. Yes. Anyway, so I do have a method of working on white. I think but I've talked to people about before, is a lot of people sometimes grade their greys. You know, there's often gradients going up, but I don't. I just use black and I reduce it really finely down, and it becomes like almost like a transparent, even though it is an opaque colour. Is it a colour black? I don't know. Of course it must be colour. But so that's how I work. I layer very, very gently, or layer gently. And that's my approach, but I can talk about that more as we go. But without further ado, maybe we should just crack on with this. If you've not seen me before, peeps, I tend to work with 2 airbrushes. I do have an Affinity as well, harder and steam back. But my workhorse is this Iwata HPC Plus. It's a 0.3 needle. I just love this. I've had this for years, and it's just fabulous. I mean, it's the right workhorse. Really good. And you can even get some fine detail. I went for a long time just using this, and getting proficient at using this. And I think that's the key. Is if you can do really kind of good detail work with one of these, a 0.3 needle, then yeah, you're gonna go well. And practice. Lovely thing, love the engineering, but I've had it for years. It's just like an old mate. So yeah, that's one I use. But for more detail work and more sort of like refined, I treated myself to an Iwata CMC custom micron. It's a beautiful airbrush again. It's very cool. It's precise, beautiful flow. But you've got to really know how to reduce paint with this. And even that's not complicated. And honestly, I see loads of videos where people just overcomplicate things. And we'll talk about reducing paints and stuff at a later point. But should we have a little play? Have a little play. So this is basically, I'm not going to use any templates. I'm not going to use any masking here or mapping out. I'm just going to sketch. And that's something we should all give a go, really. It's about trying stuff and just messing around with it. Getting used to how you hold the airbrush, how you move your hands around the painting, and how you can sort of like adapt and overcome things that are not going quite right. Yeah, so we're going to try and transfer that across there, and if it doesn't go quite right, it doesn't matter. It's just about the enjoyment of doing it. And I remember watching a video on someone, they were saying like, oh, you shouldn't hold this, you shouldn't sketch with it, you should, you know, with an airbrush, you do what you want to do. When I do airbrush, I take the front cap off. You can see there, I don't know if it's is it there? Oh, the lighting's not great in here, sorry guys. So the needle is exposed. You do get a guard on yours. If you start to airbrush, the guard's probably good to have on. You don't want to keep dinking the end of the airbrush. But it gives me the opportunity to get really close into the painting and get some fine detail. I think I'm just used to doing it. Yeah, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to try and I still call it mapping out. I'm not going to sort of like do anything else really apart from map this out, and then we'll work it. It might take a couple of videos to do this, but yeah, I'm really pleased to be back in here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to try and leave a little space around the edge. So if it's going to be a masterpiece, if you want to frame it, or anyone to buy it, I can sell it to you for thousands and thousands, like a Banksy, you know what I mean? And we'll just go with it. Right, so in my airbrush, I've reduced down. I've got lace teeth in it, and I've got some black here. It's just a base black from Inspire. I'll grab one over here. I know I'm chuntering on, but you can't need to know this stuff, don't you? Inspire paints, and these are a solvent-based paint. I love solvents, always have done. I've never really got into water-based. I don't seem to get onto it. I maybe should try it again. Anyone out there just into water-based stuff that's good? I might be convinced. I know Inspire do water-based, but I don't know yet. I think I'm so used to doing this, and the colours are so vibrant, the candies are great. Anyway, so that's what's in here, nothing special, and it's reduced quite a lot down, so it's quite thin, and that's how I kind of work things. And I will just gently sort of like layer and layer and layer, and that's how we go about stuff, guys. Can you see this? I'm sorry, it's a bit dark in here. I wonder if I can brighten this. I'm just scared that this, I've got this light here, that it might lose its brightness. Okay, right, 2 secs. Let's see. Ah! Oh, right, here we go. Live on telly. I think we'll try that. We don't want to go mode, it'll flash. Oh, bit brighter. There we go, give it that. If it goes out, I'm sorry. Right, so here we go. What I'm going to do is just sort of like map it out gently. Good thing about schools, again, it's not uniform, so if we make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. But I'm going to sketch for this, so it's quite loosely held here. When I sort of sketch, I sort of like, it's quite free. My hand isn't really tucked in too much. When I go into sort of like detail work, I tuck in, and I use my top of my finger, and I use it to turn in and out and just get detail work like this, and I tuck right in, if you can see me doing this like that. But as I'm just sketching, I'm just going to be quite free and see how it goes. So from here, let's do the, ooh, look, it looks horrific, doesn't it? Okay, but that's okay, because it's not actually firing too well, that. Let's bat some through. Hold on a sec, peeps. You're thinking, why am I watching this guy? What is that? It's just a few marks on it. Few marks. So I think the paint's just a bit thick there, so just added some thinner. And this is the thing, just a couple of drops. And then I've mixed it by holding the end of the airbrush and making it bubble there. Okay, let's go again. So that's going to lead in here. Yeah, that's flowing a bit better now. It might look a mess here, Pete, but it's not. Okay, a bit more, thinner, 2 more drops. So that's, I think people with the mixing paints, they just get so het up with it that it becomes like a scientific. 0.3 drops to 7.9 milligrams of paint. The way I say, if it's too thick, add more thinner. If it's not flowing right, add more thinner, to the point where it does flow right. It seems to be flowing a bit better now, but it's a bit of trial and error really. So I'm going to come off here. So the schools are kind of embedded in. You can see this, it's nothing detailed here, it's rough as, you know, it's like we just sketch with a pencil. I like that bit there. So it's about just sort of like finding these kind of horn things going off here, just finding our way on this. And if you watch my videos before, love monsters, I love any sort of like pop art. Let's go down here. Let's get an eyeball and then we can work from there. Skull eyes, here we go, look. And it's all about layering and layering and taking your time and not worrying about things if they don't go quite right the first time. Because guess what, in all my videos I say, what can we do? We can paint over this stuff, you know. Skulls are quite simple in some ways. Lots of holes and gaps. Looks weird, doesn't it? Okay, let's define these eyes a bit. You can see here now a bit more closer to the painting, a bit more defined. I'm trying to find the top of the eyelid there, socket, sorry. I'm going to go down here. I mean, this airbrush is just a sublime thing. But you know, get what you can afford. There's so many out there now. I mean, I am tempted to try some of these really cheap ones. Let's going to get, this is where the bottom of the eye socket is here. I mean, I did start, when I started airbrushing, I did start using sort of templates and stuff. Oh, see that there? Looks weird, doesn't it? But yeah, which is good, but I think you've got to try and figure out how to do stuff yourself, I think. And look, it doesn't matter, does it, man? If we make mistakes, it does not matter. Let's take this down a bit here. Right. Okay, cool. We'll have some weird stuff coming out the side, so it's not like a normal skull. There's some weird stuff here, and then again, I'm just sort of sketching this out. And there's some horns going up here. Embedded into that. Yeah, I hope everyone's okay. I hope life isn't too bad. I hope that people aren't all stressed too much. And if you do, find something that relaxes you, man, because we all need something, don't we? That's a bit fat and funny. Oh, that's me light going. Let me just turn this down a bit. Good gosh. And you're thinking, oh, that's kind of cool. Like in the darkness. Can we cope with that, people, just for a bit? Do you know what? I don't care. So it's about, yeah, I hope you're just finding things that aren't too stressful. You can see this here, I'm just messing with the length and size of these horns. And this section here is all going to be filled up with kind of weird and wonderful stuff as well. Okay, cool. And then we're going to have some weird leg things coming off down here. See, I'm just being very free flowing with this, and I think that's what it's a really good tip to do, is just sort of enjoy yourself with it. And being flowing with your, let's bring this further down here. It's looking pretty cool so far. What we got going on here? Let's go for another skull underneath. Like I say, we're just mapping this out. God, it's pretty dark, isn't it? Sorry, peeps. Let's try again. So I've increased the lightage. My God, I bet you think, why am I watching this chat? Oh, there we go. Because I've not been in for a while, it's the battery is not the greatest. So please forgive me. Oh, that's all right. You can see still. That's okay. I think I don't think I'll get any awards from some sort of TV program. Right, so going top here again, gently just sketching. Let's get some eyes in, and that'll give me reference. Again, with skulls, nothing uniform, so they can be really like not random, I guess, but it doesn't matter if they're not completely right. Let's have a look here. Let's make these. See, all I'm doing is just throwing down paint, and that's the start of any painting. It's just sort of like getting your head round. I think they could have been further up there, really. Let's move these up a bit. See, I've just moved that. It doesn't matter. And you can see what I'll do is just sort of like maneuver stuff where it should want to go, really. Okay, let's put this, a bit of shade in here. Yeah, so there's no rule to this, people. The skull, you get this lovely like bit around the bottom and reaches up. It even doesn't look completely. Oh yeah, I'm liking it. It's kind of a bit weird and wonderful, isn't it? We'll get some more hornage going here. That's a rude one, not hornage as in horny hornage. Yeah, so I've been absent a while off YouTube, but I just thought, like, I don't know, I just need a bit of time to do other stuff and still do my art, but on my terms. See that there, it's not quite right. It's a good thing about the sketching, you can just change things slightly, and my style of painting, you'll see that because I like sinew and I like monsters, like you say, nothing's uniform, so we can change and swap and change things, so it becomes really pretty cool. Let's go here then, swap these down a bit more as well. So it's kind of like an alien sort of like approach, this one. I've got a really nice project that I'm looking to do soon. I've got in my part of my workshop. Let me just make this down a bit. It's going to make this a bit more sense here. I've got a bulkhead for the back of a VW van. Can you see that? I'm terribly sorry about the lighting. Let me just see if I can do it again. It might run out, you see. Oh my giddy aunt. When it beeps, we're like, ah! Let me just go here. I'm going to push this from right up here, this skull. Yeah, I've got this T5 bulkhead, and I'm really interested in doing something with that. I think I might, because I've been in the military, I think I want to do something like a tribute one there, to all the guys and all the lasses that. So yeah, so watch this space with that one, because I think it'd be pretty cool. But that's going to be a big project. So these eyes are going here, but I want a snake going through that eye. So let me just map this out quickly. This is so lightly sketched, peeps. It doesn't matter if there's a mistake, because, like I say, we can paint over this. So the snake will be coming through here. Well, whatever it is, coming through here. And we're going to work this down. Where is there's that section? So it's not meant to be human, it's not meant to be anything, it's just sort of like, again, that sort of like weird sort of, yeah, okay, cool, we're getting there slowly. Can you see something beginning? Oh, knocked it over there. So yeah, it's being kind of fluid with it. Not being scared to get lines down. What we got here, so on the top of this skull here, or on the side, we're going to go for another sort of appendage thing going down here. Ooh. Again, if it's just a bit abnormal, it doesn't matter. I hope that people are. Hey, after Christmas you might have got some airbrushes I don't know out there. Can't really tell what this is here, can you? That's because I'm messing around. Okay, there's the bottom of the eye. Bottom of the eye. But I do just encourage people just to sort of get sketching. I mean, like, I've seen videos that say, oh, don't hold it like a pen. Don't sketch with it. But in fact, that's the way to do it, I think, a lot of the time, is just doing it freehand and just see how you go. Get some free flow here. Okay, I'm just going to put some like gums here. You can see a form starting to get on there, and that's the whole point. That's took me, what, I don't know, a couple of minutes, maybe a bit longer. I'm just figuring out where we want stuff. So now it's just sort of, let's have a look here. All this is going to be linked with sort of veins and bits and pieces, and down the bottom here some more sinew. As for pressures and stuff like that, again, we can talk about that another time, but I just have it about 30 psi, and that seems to work for me. I'm really not technical. I don't think you should be technical. I think what you should be is just free of all that technicality, because it can drive you mad. I mean, how are you going to know, you know? I mean, there's probably definitely something in it, but in all the time I've worked or done airbrush projects, you can just sort of not worry about it too much, because it doesn't matter. You can restrict yourself and become more het up and stuff like that, and then it becomes a bit of a nightmare. Right, okay, so let me just do this section here. So all I'm doing now is just sort of like defining little areas. In some of my videos I talk shading, I call it pushing and pulling an image. And I think that's kind of really important. So what you do is sort of like, you can start bringing the image out of the by adding shadow and shading. You start to see something coming slowly out. It's a bit like getting something in focus. So I call it pushing it in and pulling it out. So I'm trying to pull this out for the moment, and if it gets too dark and too heavy, and then I would get white basically, and I just start push that away again until it gets into focus that I'm happy with. I am going to put some like mad sort of like sinewy bits down here, like branches off and like that. I know it looks a bit random, but I think we'll work on this piece for quite a while, I think, just to sort of get our heads around it and understand what we're doing. And these sort of schools are really kind of good to start practicing on. I know everyone does them, and you get about 1,000 videos on painter school or True Fire. Everyone says for True Fire. Maybe not so now, I don't know. Let me just put some lines down here. But just gradual here. So what I'm getting here, if you look at this top section here, I'm kind of stretching his face down. I don't know if you can zoom. Shall I zoom in? Am I going to attempt to zoom in? Zoom in. Okay, let's move. No, back. How do I do that? What's happened? There we go. Oh, I love it. Yeah, I was looking at this. Yeah. Oh, I bet you're thinking, what am I doing watching this chap? Do you know, I am going to post this as well because I think it's really funny. So I'm stretching his face down a little bit here, and I've talked about it in other videos before. It's a really kind of cool thing if you can master this technique. I watched Craig Fraser do it, and I just absolutely, since then I've just flew. And I think anyone, so even I'm doing it is just putting little lines down here, and that starts just stretching it just gently. The nose here is going to be shaded in. I'm not going crazy with any black here, just gently pushing it. So I'm actually just starting to pull this image out here. I bet you love these videos. If you're new to my channel, all I can do is apologise. But you know what? It's just what it is, isn't it? What's going on here? Yeah, okay, that's another thing. See, this is what I get distracted and go and do something else now. We're getting some random weird stuff going on here. And in between these horns and things, I'm going to do some more sort of like veins and weird stuff. So yeah, I'll tell you what, let's get coloured these eyes in a bit, and that gives a bit of definition. We can see where we're going. It might make some more sense. So airbrushing does take time. You've got to sort of practice. It doesn't just come naturally. But how you practice is up to you. I mean, I have used canvases, and canvases are great as well, but I like working with metal. So dye bond is a really good practice medium, and you can test colours and stuff on it, you know. It's kind of cool. You can test colours, you can mess about with stuff, see if that works. It's like I want to try some of this luminescent paint. So I'm going to get some, and I'm going to do some test pieces on here before I go in near my van, because there's a few things I'm going to do in my van which is really cool. So I'm just gradually building this up, just to give me a bit of a definition of where's what. And when I talk about shadowing, it's about where's light not getting to. So if imagine light's coming this way, underneath here, where that skull is there'll be no light, so I can go quite heavy there in that corner. I am going to fill these sections in a bit, but I've got to be careful because I don't want to just completely de-define everything. Okay, so I've got to shut up for 1 minute. Yeah, I can't remember when the last video was. I think it was well before Christmas. So all I can do is apologise for that. But do you know what? I think you've got to be in the right frame of mind to do your painting, haven't you? And at the moment, I wasn't not in the frame of mind of painting then. I don't know why. I just wasn't. I think maybe it's just busy as well. Okay, so let's get some dark. Is it showing on the video? Yeah, I'm hitting this bit now. Right, I'm going to zoom out a bit again. Here we go. You never know what's going to happen in this, do you? Oh, hurrah! Victory is mine! Ah, I would edit that stuff out, but do you know what? I don't think I want to. I think it's quite funny. Okay, cool. I don't always concentrate in one area, as you can see. A lot of airbrushes will just sort of focus on one bit. But no, I kind of flip between, I think, because it keeps me fresh in what I'm doing. And I think, and a lot of people as well, they just, when they sort of copy an image or doing what they do, they can use different things like grid systems and get really focused on those. Again, I kind of want things really simple. I don't. Now, does that take something away from painting when you're starting to do it that much? I don't know. You tell me if you use a grid system. I don't know, and sort of like, there's nothing wrong with it. Don't bother me. Maybe I'm just a bit lazy. Maybe I'm just a bit lazy. Now this is going to be weird, isn't it? A kind of schools, but not kind of schools. Yeah, I'm a big fan of art, just looking like art. I've talked about it before in my videos where you got some really photorealistic stuff. I find it's fascinating, but not for me. Not for me. Maybe I'm not good enough. I'm just jealous. Right, hold on a minute. Right, so let's just drag this down. I'm just adding bits now because I want to define these areas a bit. At the base of the horns, there's an area where it attaches to the skull, and that's the little semicircle there. So all I'm doing is gently just doing a semicircle. In fact, I mean, even if they are horns, and now I'm just doing a little curve. There's no straight lines in nature or anything like that. So it's all curves and ergonomically shaped. So don't be afraid just to do that. So with going over a horn, it's got a curved approach to it. So not straight lines doesn't work. You see with it? So as I go closer in, I naturally just get my hand in that position, tuck in. The closer we go, the finer the line. The further away we go, the spread of the mist of the paint will get wider. Practice, 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 peeps. Let's just put a bit. We want those black in there, really. We're doing it gradually. You can see I'm just layering in this paint. This airbrush is sublime. I forgot how much I love airbrushing. I just absolutely nearly swore then. Love it. So we go, and there we go. It's building up. In here, I just want this really dark. This definition here. So I'm graduating out. So you got to imagine the light. This wonderful light I've got over it is coming down. So this right in the corner area, that section there, that's going to be really dark. And as I came out, it just lightens a little bit because light just creeps in. So you have to really think about that, and that just elevates your artwork really, on position of where the light's coming from, how we can see it. I think it's coming together slowly, isn't it? Yeah. I know. I just wanted to do this. I did this sketch while I was waiting to get my clutch and T5 spares. Shout out to Dave, T5 spares, looks after my van all the time. You want anything to do with like T5, T5.1, any Volkswagen stuff, he's your man. Fleetwood, T5 spares limited. Look at me for advertising him. Yeah, he owes me for this. So yeah, I sat and I was waiting for my clutch to be done. I just sat in a library in Fleetwood doing these sketches. I did another one as well, an ABC Warrior, but we might do that soon anyway. If you know what an ABC Warrior is, any 2000 AD fans out there? Hope so. I'm a big fan of it. All right. See, I've moved on to this one now. These weird, like tentacle things, they're not horns. They're horns on top. Like a bony sort of affair. Yeah, so all I've done is mapping this out. And look, you know, there was loads of lines on before. It looked like an absolute disaster, but it's starting to become a form of a face or faces going down. Now, are they skulls? They're kind of skulls. And all I'm doing here, I have done a video on how to do fabric and folds in faces. If I zoom in again, it's going to try to show you, so I'm not going to do that. And it is gradual, it's taking your time, little fine adjustments to see that fold or crease appear. Let's have a look here, where am I going? Let's bring this down a bit. And be careful with any blacks, is not to go too heavy straight away, because it's just a bit of a nightmare. So really take your time. This is why I really reduce my black down like it is, and then the white helps because it sort of like it creates a grey sort of vibe to it. Like I said, I know who was a great airbrusher, and he graduates all the greys in like levels, and I commend that. That's amazing, but it's just such a kind of a laborious thing to do. But you know, the results he got were just fantastic. But I think you can get similar results by just sort of like being patient with black. I love working monochrome. So I've got a black background, and I do again reduce my opaque white to absolute, so it's basically you can barely see it, and then we layer and layer and layer. I think I'd explain that in my Beauty and the Beast video. But yeah, so it just takes time. It takes time. I'm not a quick airbrusher, and I think if you rush things, then the results can be quite negative. So just be careful with that. Where's that one going there? Is that okay? So this here, it's coming out the top of that. It's a bit fat, this one. We can thin it down there, can't we? And there's one out the top of here. And when you airbrushing, if you newbies out there, always try and keep the air on. Keep the air on, that's fine. And it kind of prevents tip dry a bit. And then if you do get a bit of tip dry, you can just nip it off with your fingers. Bip bop bip. Or just get a cotton bud or something and do that and just get it off. But if you keep the air on it, it stops that from happening a little bit. Yeah. Again, another tip from Craig Fraser. Some really good videos out there, you know, people helping each other and the airbrush community, and I kind of like that. Should we get a bit of, let's get a few fangs down here, shall we? Very rough again. Again, if these aren't going right, okay, you can always paint over this stuff, people. I'm just mapping these out again. Use that word a lot, but do you know what? It is what we're doing, yeah. Let's pull this down here. I'm a big fan of Alien and a bit of Geiger. I think I love that sort of artwork, and his sort of like Cybertronic stuff as well. Cybertronic. Let's do some sinew coming down here. I'm just mapping some stuff out down here as well. Love veins, love gore, love monsters. So look back on, this is a bit weird, this one. Okay, let's have a look here. Where am I going? I need to bring that across. It's a bit too. That's more like it. Yeah, it was a bit too human. It was a bit weird. Okay, so look, all I've done is move that line up there, pushing that cheekbone up. So this down here doesn't matter because I create some weird and wonderful stuff out of this. It could be like, here we go, so we have some sinew and weird veinage coming up here, or tubes. So everything is, like I say, everything can be repaired or something else can be added, you know. Oh, look at that, that's weird, man. I've just been on Sky and look, the Predator's Badlands is on there. I need to have a watch of that because I just love a monster. Where's that snake going? Okay. I don't know if anyone's watched it. Hope it's good, but I am looking forward to watching that. Big fan of Predator. What's going on here? Let's define this eye. But Alien, most definitely, that's my cup of tea. Like the whole genre. There we go. Where's the top of that? Okay. What I'm doing is to find the top of this eyelid. Eye. I've got to leave some gap there and underneath. There we go. Look. Complete concentration. I've shut up for 5 minutes, sorry. Okay, so yeah, so the snake is going through, you can see here, or whatever it is, slimy thing going through here. Yeah, we're getting there now. A bit happier. Again, going in the corners, working my way out. Defining these areas, people. Again, this is early days with this painting. But you can see the results we're having, yeah? Oh, I'm loving it already. Let's put some kind of like a nose thing going on here. We've got a kind of thing, a nose thing going on there as well. Let's get these areas down. Really loose, really vibrant, really sort of like enjoying the moment, and that's what you want to do. You want to get really happily involved. Sometimes it's worth sketching. I like to sketch. I like to do that, but I get a bit lazy sometimes. I sort of want things done very quickly, and that's where the airbrush comes in. Talking about airbrushes, I did have the Infinity. I did sell the Infinity then because I didn't quite get on with it. I think it was a super fine thing when it flowed beautifully. It was great, but I know that there used to be a lag between the trigger and the air, and you could do these little modifications by putting little Tefl sort of O-rings in that make it so, but I just couldn't be bothered with that. Again, I come up with the most laziest airbrush in the world. But I do think now that the new upgrades have actually solved that problem. But great airbrush, any harder than steam back, you can't go wrong. I think they've got an entry-level one as well. They've got entry-level, like everything else, there's entry-level ones. This was really expensive, but you know what I mean, I invest my money goes back into art. So if I earn some money, I will invest into something else. So that's kind of cool. What I do want to try is, I don't know if anyone's tried out there any airbrushes, these sharpening stones for the needles, because I am a bit of a bugger for dinging them. So I wonder if they're actually worth to buy. I mean, they're quite expensive to buy straight away. They're about £60 in the UK. But maybe it'll save me in the long run when a needle costs 30 quid, 35 quid. But I'm doing right in this one. I've not dinged it yet. Okay, cool. What are we on here now? 45 minutes. Right, I'm going to finish up in a second because I think I don't want to bore you all to death. And it's my first time back in a while. But then again, I'm enjoying myself. Should we stay on for a bit longer? I can hear you all crying out, yeah! Thinking, what am I talking about here? Okay, cool. So every time we add a little bit here, this airbrush is sublime. There's really fine lines that I can make coming here. I'm going sort of a bony effect. Sort of right in here. But I want this to be stretchy. I was going to put like teeth here, but I don't think I am. I think I like the stretchy effects. Yeah, look. Oh yeah, look at this. Beautiful. Okay, right, we're doing here now. I kind of want to link a few things here as well. So it's not just dark. There we go. I am messing. So, I mean, these are really good for test pieces, you know. They're really good fun to just build and enjoy. Test your paint, test your technique, try something, don't be afraid. Look, we've had there's no masking here, there's no using any templates, because you don't need them half the time. Just be confident and try different things. Oh my god, that's kind of cool, just like layers of weirdness there, kind of like that. But you know what though, do start with stuff like that. I think it's important. You build your confidence with the airbrush, because it's all about controlling the airbrush. Again, look, I'm free, my hand's down here, but when I go in, I control it like a boss. Really, really gently in those corners. Beautifully done. Loving that. It starts pushing this. I'm really like, well, am I pushing? No, I'm sort of pulling it out, aren't I? I'm pushing the eyes back to get that depth. And like I say, in all my videos, if you make a mistake, it does not matter. So I'm going to do across here, like umbilical kind of things, or ribs, maybe ribs or something like that. Let's just link it across. But I think definitely this will be at least a two-part, I think, for us, just to see where we get with it. And hopefully you'll enjoy this process. Big, weird, wonderful things going down here and coming off as well. A bit like intestines, aren't they? Maybe I need to see somebody about this problem I've got with like monsters and stuff. But I love them. I actually love a good monster movie. And the most classic of all, Jaws. Come on. I mean, 2 notes and you've got a baddie, haven't you? I'm just doing this quickly just so I know what I'm doing here, so I can see where I'm at. Some sort of creature going through the eye sockets of whatever that was. Yeah, Jaws, phenomenal film. I know, my all-time favourite. Well, I know all-time favourite. I like I love Godzilla. I love all that stuff with young Harry Holson, with you know, Jason the Argonauts, all that kind of cool stuff. Such brilliance, such imagination, you know. The creators of their day, and without them, you wouldn't have what we have today, from Lord of the Rings, or all these beautiful movies that we do now. But I am loving the fact that people who create this stuff are going back to creature effects. Love that. I love a good creature effect. Absolutely cool. Because it takes time and effort, like a painting, I guess. I like this here. This sort of links. You get these little sections here. Looks like a little vein or something. So it's kind of like just cutting that bit in there. And get lost in your airbrushing. It becomes absolutely sublime, sort of like doing things now. And you start seeing a 3D image starting to pull out, and that's what we're after. So I think in the next video I'll talk about more techniques and how we get to that point where we sort of like can start bringing these lovely images out And we can talk about other techniques as well. But anyway, I think we're nearly at 50 minutes. And I think, after being away for such a long time, that you probably just need to be brought into this gently in my world of chaos. I apologise for the amazing camera tricks. I mean, they are amazing. I don't know how long that was in, but you'll enjoy that. Me smashing stuff everywhere. If you're new to the channel, thank you for your patience. If you want to follow me, you can. If you don't want to, you can't be arsed. That's absolutely fine. All my videos are in real time, and it does happen. I'm not keen on these fast quickie things. Yeah, so this is DarkArt Pro. I am going to say goodbye. Shall I just do one more bit? One more bit. Let's do this. Oh, let's see. What's that? Yeah, it's kind of a weird section coming up here. That's not snake though. That's just like a weird stuff. Yeah, I am going to say goodbye. I do drag these out, Pete. I'm sorry. I get sucked in. I can see I'm like, oh, I want to do that now. And I hope you get inspired to go and do some airbrushing. Get stuck in. Enjoy your art. Try your best. And it doesn't matter, and don't get over technical with it. There's no need. Don't have to worry about PSI too much. I always work on 30 bar with this, and it works really well. As for the paints, again, I'll go through paints for people, and we'll do some, like I'll put a big globule of paint in here, and we'll work it so it'll actually see it reduced down so it's a workable thing, because it's all fixable, you know. But yeah. I'm really pleased to be back in the studio, really pleased to be part of this community again, and thank you for all your patience, you lovely people, and hopefully we'll do some really great art together. So like I say, the next project's going to be quite a big one. I'm really looking forward to it. I just need to figure out what I want to do on there, so I think it should be a homage to all our forces, including special forces, right through to the RAF. And it's going to be a big, so I'll have to figure out how I'm going to do it. And I'll get a better setup. I keep promising that, but it never happens, does it? Let me just do one more little bit here. I'll keep my mouth shut and you can just watch if you like, just to finish off. Right, there we go. That minute of silence, I think you probably needed from me. Gosh, this is turning into something really cool. I love it. 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 So when we come back next time, we'll work more on this area here. We'll start pulling this out even further. Once we've got to a point where we're quite happy with it all, what we're going to do then is we go into some highlights, understanding where they go, under where the light's hitting. These ribs are going to be pretty cool at the top here as well. Can we just add in a bit there? Really freehand, man. Really free flow. It's really cool. Add more detail. Add some really fine lines. But yeah, that is the beginning of something, isn't it? Which is really cool. But I will revisit things like mapping stuff out, using masking there to get those crisp lines if you want that sort of thing. I mean, you tend to have to do that on cars because you don't want your paint going all over the place, but then sometimes you get some beautiful lines coming off anyway. So, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Sorry about the lighting. I will be better next time once my battery's all charged up in here. I hope you've enjoyed this video. And I think it's time for me to go and get a nice glass of wine or a beer. And all you lovely people out there, thank you so much for subscribing. If you want to subscribe, that's great. But thank you all, everyone who's watched, spent the time. If you got to the end, you deserve a medal. But love and peace to you all. You know, I do believe there's more good people out there than bad. So I definitely think we're in a good place. Yeah. Anyway, nice one everyone. DarkArt Pro signing off. Have a lovely weekend. Friday!